Tony was a teacher, I think at the Hibbing, or Evelyn Botech. Or the, I think it's Botech.
Okay.
I've never met him.
Met him today up at the funeral.
His,
Hmm.
his daughter came up to me one night. I was downtown. Hey, is your last name Skenzich? I said, yeah, she was. So was mine. I'm like, no, it isn't. I know all the Skenziches. You're not one.
Yeah.
Sure enough, it was my
There you go.
first
Like you
cousin,
said.
twice removed.
Yeah. We didn't have a very long period of time to talk, but okay, how we doing here? Sandra? No Terry? Good evening, and welcome everybody to the Gilbert City Regular Council meeting of March 23rd, 2021. Let the record show it is now 6:06 p.m. And we'll have the clerk do the roll call, please.
Councillor Heitzman.
Here.
Councillor Skenzich.
Here.
Councillor Poulos.
Here.
Mayor Oberstar.
Here.
Let the record show Councillor Leone is absent with notice. Mayor?
Thank you, sir. All right. Could the council and everybody help me open this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance as well? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under
Under
God,
God, indivisible, with
liberty.
liberty and justice.
Thank
for
you. Okay, Jim, do we have any additions?
No additions, Mayor. What you do have in front of you are some supplemental information for the Core and Main invoice, new business F, and also supplemental information for under staff reports D, Public Works, D, and Well.
All right, yeah. Confirmed, we got it, confirmed, we have that. Very good, thank you. We'll move on to approve the previous council minutes. We'll start with March 9th, 2021, City Council Working Session minutes. Motion by Councilor Pulis.
I'll support.
Supported by Councilor Skenzich, excuse me, to approve the March 9th, 2021 City Council Working Session minutes. Any more discussion? Additions, deletions, corrections? I reviewed them as well. Councilor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Heitzman?
Aye.
Councilor Skenzich?
Aye.
Mayor Overster, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Regular City Council minutes of March 9th, 2021.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Heitzman, supported by Councilor Pulis. Any more discussion, corrections, deletions, additions? Councilor Heitzman, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Skenzich?
Aye.
Councilor Pulis?
Aye.
Mayor Overster, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Public input tonight. Anybody in the audience tonight on TV, on the phone? I mean, the TV, computer, virtual. Please chime in and I'll get you on. I have somebody at the podium, so. Go ahead, sir.
This is in regards to the last meeting here.
Bob, for the people out.
Yeah, I'm Bob Pontonen from Sparta. This is in regards to the last meeting where you approved some utility money to go back into the library budget. And I'm here to remind the mayor and council that you guys are in charge of the people's money. That's your responsibility. You didn't even know how much the utilities were at that time. And you also didn't ask what the money is to be used for. You broke the budget by, I don't even know yet what the numbers are. Maybe Jim has the numbers of what the utilities cost per year. But that is not the way to handle the people's money. You can't just 2 months into a budget, all of a sudden change it. I know the fire department wouldn't do that. They wouldn't have one of their firemen come and say, hey, we need 10 grand. And wouldn't you ask them, well, what's it for? You know, this is, in my view, not the way to run a budget or a council. You guys got to speak up. You're the people's representatives. If you don't speak up, nobody attends these meetings, so we don't hear anything for the people. You know, you have to represent us. You were elected to represent us, not to sit quietly at every meeting. Thank you. And if you want, you said you have to make this up in the budget at some point. And I've got a suggestion. If it's 10 grand or whatever, why don't you guys donate your salary of 10 grand back into the budget, into the levy? That's my suggestion.
All right, anybody want to comment on that? All right, thank you for your comments. Oh, anybody else? I've spoke at length on it last time, and I'm not speaking about it anymore. It's all fine. The city library's been running at $103,000 for ages, as far as I know. And when I sat on that board, for 6 years, I was on that board, almost 6 years, 5 and 10 months. And we've come to the council at budget time. We need 113, or we need 123 for this, for that. And it wasn't for the library foundation that it was set up in 1993, which I attended as president, presented as president of that board for 20 years. They got all the computers that are down there, except for staff computers, but all the public computers, three rounds of computers for the public. Will never been bought by the city council here, ever. They barely buy computers at this table for the staff down there. That's how priority the city library's been for the city council of Gilbert in the past. And we give them the mandated lease amount of 103,000. You want something to say, Lenny?
I can speak on that now or under my business, Mayor.
Right after I'm done here.
Yes, sir.
103,000. So anytime they wanted to ask for more money for whatever reason, good reasons, it's in the library board's business, actually. It's not, we have a board over there, and we have a police commission. They run the library, and the police commission runs the police. They ask for us for the money. Yeah, we look at the line by line item, and it's up to this council and it has been the council's prerogative. No, we're not giving you 113, we're not giving you 123, and you can do this, can do that. So they've been on bare bones all the time. So I devised a thing about 25 years ago. Wow, you're in a community center. You're scrapped for about $10,000. Maybe we will take the utilities and we'll put it on a community center, and you can save $5,000 or $10,000 in that neighborhood. It varies, and you can use that money how you need to do it. Buy more books, more subscriptions for people, magazines, and all that kind of stuff. Save you 10,000 because we're mandated to give them the 103, no more, no less. Can't give them no less. We can give them more, but we don't. City councils. So now they got another 5, 6 extra or $10,000 wiggle room, which they were very grateful for. And council after council after council, and clerk after clerk after clerk put the utilities back in. Some take it back out, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for I don't know how many, 20 years now, 17 years. And I think last year Sue brought this to my attention. We had it cleaned up last year. She just brought it back to my attention now again 2 weeks ago. This is not my idea. It's brought to my attention by the city librarian. And I brought it to the council's attention, and we got it passed. And this is good. We used 103,000 we're liable to give to them. And they're going to use that money in a proper way. And I trust them to do that. And I'm not wasting your money.
The library board didn't request this. Well, shouldn't it go through the library board? Shouldn't they have made a request for more funding?
It came from,
That I ever read. And also, you still haven't said what it's for, and you still haven't said what the utilities are. When are you going to tell the people that?
Jim is going to talk about that right now.
What are the utilities, Jim?
Last year, utilities were just a shade under $3,200.
So only 32 and not 10,000.
That is correct.
Well, that's more acceptable. I wish you would have said that last meeting.
I said it's been fluctuating through the years.
You made it sound like $10,000 last.
You
Listen to your
said
tape.
that I was saying 10,000. It fluctuates.
Yeah.
I'm just saying utilities, period. It fluctuated up to as high as 10,000 at one time.
So the utilities are the natural gas and electricity?
And
And the water
sewer.
usage?
Correct. And
Okay.
it's, that 3,200 is consistent for the last 2 years.
Okay, why didn't you just say that last week? So then it would have been more, I wouldn't have been standing here right now.
No, that's not my problem. I said utilities, take the utilities out, period. I don't care.
$10,000 or more.
I don't care if it was $100,000, just take the utilities out. Take the utilities out. There's been a ping pong thing between this city council, not this council, but councils in the past and the library board, back and forth for mucho years. It's enough of that already. And this council has done the wise and good thing. Sue, are you happy about that? You're on board?
Yes, I am on board. And I am more than happy to have Bob come to our next board meeting, which would be the first Monday of April. I also have last year's budget. Jim provided that for me, and I will give a copy to Bob. And you will see that the $103,500 pays for 3 people's salaries. It pays for all the office. It pays for all the materials bought. It for the entertainment. And you do realize that I do take and make 2 times a month. And we go into we call it the dungeon. And we put together craft ideas for families to do that cost. One is costing 25 cents per person for 3 dozen, 3 dozen take and makes that we put together. So I would appreciate Bob coming to one of the board meetings, and he can stop by the library anytime and I'll give him last year's budget. I'll
Sue,
show anybody.
Are you happy that the city council gave you some breathing room in your budget?
It's a big help when you realize that you have 3 people that are trained, working in the library, trying to help, entertain the community. And I just finished, well, I just didn't just finish, but I finished the Minnesota report that is necessary to get that $103,500 each year. We have to, by law, fill it out. 14 different categories and pages and pages of statistics. And that has been all turned into the state. So anybody, come, I will give you the budget. I will show you what we do.
Thank you. So you're welcome. Anybody else in the audience, on TV, on the phone?
Yes, Mayor and Council, we have a Mr. Paul Skirbick that would like to have public input.
Very good. Go on, Paul, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. I just want to bring it to the council's attention. We've now attempted to have 2 separate campground board meetings, and neither of them have been able to conduct business for lack of quorum. I believe that a big portion of this is that we don't have 2 of the seats filled. And so I'm actively asking for the mayor, for council members to help please recruit to fill this board. It's very important that we're able to conduct business, and without a quorum, obviously we can't do that. We were able to give you the candidate recommendation for the campground host for this year, but we need to be able to have meetings, and in order to do that, we have to have a full board. So that's my ask, is to try and recruit for that board.
Thank you, Paul, for that question. We have some candidates for me to look at for the next meeting. It should be on the agenda for the next meeting. And you should have after that, a full board. So, all right. So soon, it's coming soon. And we just started we just made this a board not too long ago, number 1, went from a committee to a board. We went through that process, and then we added 2 more people to the committee from 3 to 5. And so it's been a work in progress, and by next meeting, we should be there. And all members that are currently on there, I would hope you guys all get together and, well, you have a specified day, right, of the month, week and month. Please try to be there. You have some critical issues to discuss between here and opening, and then maybe not so much after opening. So please try to make those schedules. Paul, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Nobody else? All right. Reports by the mayor and council. Start with councilors. Councilor Pulis.
The only thing I really have is what we've talked about already this last couple weeks over that property at the 506 South Broadway with that camera issue and stuff. Brian, have we looked into that height of that camera? Is there a ordinance on the height of that camera, what it's overlooking? We're getting a lot of complaints about people's privacy.
I haven't found an ordinance that regulates the maximum height of the camera per se, but it is something that we could take up and set a policy, or, I mean, we could enact an ordinance, but we could also do it as a policy within the city.
My opinion is, I understand people want to protect their property and stuff, but a camera that high is overlooking the whole block basically, so no one's got privacy in that whole area over their fence or any other matter. So if their kids are playing or somebody's sunbathing out in there, whatever, now that camera is looking right at them. So I think that causes an issue. We need to look at doing a resolution to making it a certain height, not as high as it is.
Can you turn your mic down? I can't hear you back here. Can you talk into the mic?
I was talking and speaking about the camera that is on 506 South Broadway that is about 25 feet high. I believe it's too high for what it's used for, its purposes. It's overseeing everyone's house and block, whether it can turn or not or whatnot. But I've had a lot of complaints about people's privacy, and I think we need to look at either figuring out to reduce the height or it needs to go completely.
Very good point, and I would like to have Jim, our clerk, chime in. And he's been dealing with this piece of property for a long time. I'm getting all kinds of calls and concerns or asked about the previous issue about the lean-to and this and that. And I don't know if I'm giving out the right information on it. It's an issue that needs to get resolved, and then maybe this is a place we can, in general, talk about it with other than talking about names here. Is Jim or Brian can speak to this, or Ty. I know it's been going on for a while, so can we get this thing settled and some kind of, so council's aware of what's going on here too? Who wants to start? Yeah.
Well, with the washout that was under the cement slab, that has been reinforced. So for that purpose, the items that were in the court order have been rectified. So that issue is effectively taken care of. Now we have, and if Chief Teacher's online, I know we've discussed the blight issue in that yard, in the confines of that lean-to.
Lean-to is okay now.
Correct.
Okay, it's not over somebody's property line or anything like that?
Correct, and as I talked to the adjacent property owner, that they were looking for, they believe they had a survey done years ago, and they were looking for that to give me a copy of it to verify that. But when that was built, there was a variance to bring that all the way to the property line, and we believe, we don't have a survey of it, but it appears to line up, that's where it is. That's why we've asked the adjacent landowner for a survey.
So the only issue there is now blight.
Correct.
Okay.
Mayor, council, two things. First thing, yep, we will be dealing with the blight at that property. We had actually met with some citizens today in the board in regards to the nuisance stuff. And we've started the process already. Obviously, May 1st is when the new ordinance kicks into effect. However, we can still fulfill the nuisance ordinance now in preparation for that. There's two parts of the new nuisance ordinance that covers that antenna. The problem is that the way it's secured, it appears to be within the parameters under this nuisance ordinance. It says radio aerials or television antennas erected or maintained in a dangerous manner. It appears that he's got it set up in several with several support wires, guide wires, that would kind of meet that. I don't know if we can justify that as being dangerous. It also states within the ordinance for bill and maintenance is that antenna and other similar projections must be structurally sound and in good repair. These projections must be secured properly where applicable to an exterior wall or exterior roof. And obviously it's up against the garage there and it's telescoped straight up. So we have nothing in our ordinances that would necessarily cover what he has going there. It's basically a TV antenna with a camera on top. So we really do not have anything in ordinance. And obviously with technology and cameras, this is becoming a more common occurrence with surveillance equipment. And whether or not they're being used for illegal uses, such as zooming into windows. We have what we kind of call the plain view. If you can see it with the naked eye, there's no invasion of privacy. If it is in the zoom mode and you're zooming into things, that becomes a little bit more of an issue. However, we have to have proof that they're actually doing it. And in order for us to get any type of court order to be able to go into that property to check into that, the hard drive or whatever if it's being recorded on, we would have to have some sort of evidence in order to obtain a warrant showing that they were zooming into windows or something like that.
Mayor, the final piece that we have from planning and zoning is in the middle of the yard. There's a fence panel that looks like might be exceeding the height. We'll be taking a look at that issue, but short of that, everything else in that yard is in compliance as far as P&Z goes.
Thank you all for that information because hopefully somebody's listening or somebody in the neighborhood is listening. And we all know a little bit more about it, so we can give out, when we get questioned on it, we have some information to pass on. Any more questions on this issue? Joel?
No.
All right, thank you for bringing that up though, too. Councilor Heitzman? Thank you. Councilor Skinsich?
Yeah, I've got one thing. Last week, we had the meeting or community meeting, I guess, up at the school with, I can't think of the outfit that's running the mediation or the Northland Group. Okay.
Bessie Olavanti.
Yes. Myself, Mayor Oberstar, Deputy Clerk Gulen was there. Billy Addy from school board member Bill Addy was there, and then the superintendent was there also. I suppose there was probably, what would you say, a dozen or so community public there, or people from the public there, citizens. And we took a tour around the school. I haven't been through there for many years. It's kind of neat to see it again, but there were a lot of good points brought up at the meeting. It'd be nice to see a lot more people there from the city. So if anybody's out there watching this, it's the next meeting is April 20th at 6 p.m. and that is in the school media center. It is the third Tuesday of each month. So that's just an easier way to remember that also. But there are a lot of good comments both ways about hopefully figure something out in the future here with what's up there and possibly tear some things down or whatever happens. But it'd be really nice if you're free and able to come to the media center on the 20th at 6. More public, the better.
Thank you, Counselor Skinsich. Very good. Yes, please attend with more citizens, the more ideas we'll get and options we can discuss. There will be a survey. Those folks that are coming to these meetings will put together a survey to be put in the water and light bills and mailed to everybody and mailed back so we can get a majority, our vast majority of the public input here, not just a few ideas. We want to get a good overall reading by the community. So this council come December can get the blessing of what the community wants us to do, you know? Because it's not a necessity like a lot of other things we got going on today. I mean, this is a big necessity if we take this on. And we want to do it right. So, very good. Thank you for attending. And hopefully Mark can make it next time. And
Third Tuesday at what time there?
6 at the media center. No, not down here at the media center. Okay, my turn. All right. I've been asked a lot of questions wherever I go, here, there, and everywhere, and different things. I'm glad to give out this information. But everybody's hearing things from different places, you know. I just want to let everybody know out there in media land and TV land, the official news source for the city of Gilbert's ongoing things is our website, gilbertminnesota.com, our city hall staff, and the city councilors. That is official information gathering source if you have any questions. Not hearing it anywhere else or reading it anywhere else. And you can attend the meeting if you can. And we have virtual opportunities to watch a meeting somehow. And there's on TV coming up, I think Friday nights at 6 o'clock or Saturday nights. A good time of the day, not like 2 o'clock in the morning anymore. But the official information on what's happening and what's the real numbers of everything is website should be on there. We have that updated so often. City staff, call them, the phone number 748-2232, and come to a meeting or ask the city councilor, which should know that information as well. I'll make that's the official news source. As mayor, I'd like to extend my sympathies on behalf of the city of Gilbert and the mayor and the council to the Frank Wise family. A retiree of Gilbert for 20-some years as our city electrician, did a wonderful job for the city of Gilbert. His funeral was today, passed at the age of 102. Real good employee for the city of Gilbert, as all our retirees have been. And that's sad to see them pass away. Frank was 102, boy, I don't know if I'll make 102. But if you know him, I knew him very well. And our condolences to the family at this time. Okay, I had things I might bring up to with other department heads here. I have eyes, people, they call me. Hopkins Park gates, we put a lot of money in the gates. We did that because of inappropriate behavior going up there. So neighborhoods, some people in the neighborhood, maybe not all of them, felt unsafe. We had I know the police department has a number of things that if you got more priority than at 10 o'clock to lock it. I understand that, Ty. But we had a council order here, 10 to 6, that thing is locked, 10 PM to 6 AM. Be 11 PM, if whatever you can do it, I understand, things happen. But people are watching, hasn't been locked for a week, all weekend. That's all weekend. That's the time as things are gonna happen up there. I don't know why we do all that stuff, if we're not gonna do it. And just like those stop signs with curbing the speeding up there, somebody could get hurt or an accident. There's been many a close call up there and many accidents that we don't know about, but the police department does. I think we've kind of like tamed that down a lot, and people are asking, are they gonna go away when this Main Street is done? No, they're not going away, so I'm not voting to have them put away. Things have been good up there. The traffic's been adjusting to it. Everybody's happy, and I see no problem why we should take them down after the Main Street is done. Things are good, safe, sound, and people are adjusting, and if they don't like it, they go down somewhere else. Main Street. And the rest I'll talk to Ty. So Ty, again, the gates are real concerned by some citizens up there. They let me know. So hopefully you can make provisions with your department to make that I know other things happen. I'm not saying to put that ahead of something else, but I'm just saying, put it, not on Sam's list either, but put it on a list, okay, to do, all right? Sam's not, probably, he can't hear that. I'm just kidding, Sam. You got a good list, I know. So, anyway, really, this piece is serious about some of this stuff that we do here. I understand, now we're getting the season, it was, people are calling up with the neighbors, you know what, in the yard from their pets. And we got this blight thing, committee task force coming up. Oh, man, I know. Yeah, we have to deal with that too. Be respectful, folks, of the people next door, your neighbors, your neighborhood, the community. Please try to be respectful. It's not can't be a big job to pick up after your pets. And even when you're walking the dogs around town, pick up after them. We have an ordinance on that. We have ordinance on this other stuff too. Now, this blight committee that decided I formed last year is going to be tough this year on blight. There's no, there's going to be, hopefully the fine is going to be big enough where you're not going to want to pay that fine. Be respectful. First of all, it's just simple as that. Forget about the fines. Just be respectful of your neighbor, of your neighborhood, of the city of Gilbert. Please, in your yards. We've had people try to sell their house and the sale fell through because they don't want to live next door to this. That's not right. We've had people that can't live and with their windows down because of an order coming from next door. And it's got to be dealt with up here. Why is it got to be dealt with up here? It doesn't have to come that far. If your people respected other people. Oh, I'm the mean guy here. I'm just trying to, I mean, come on now. Let's get real here. Enough of all this stuff. This has been going on in Gilbert for a long, long time already. And there's been a lot of breaks been given out too. And because of the breaks, we're at where we're at. And every time we give in on something, It just gets worse. I have no other, this is where I have to say it out. I reach more people here this way. I have to reach out to the community and hopefully get this thing addressed. All right, we'll move on to City Attorney Brian Lindsay.
Mayor, no formal report, but I am happy to answer any questions the council may have.
I may have one when we get down to further down. And anybody else on council? All right, City Engineer John Javnik, I believe he's on the line.
Yes.
John?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I got one update, otherwise some agenda items, but last week down on Florida Avenue, Sam called about an issue of one of the residences' sewer service not being reconnected to the sewer from the work they did last fall. It was really a unique situation. It was the Sandstrom house on the corner on the, you go up Upper Florida, past the upper alley, the first house on the right there. Their sewer service was actually connected all the way down to Broadway or Highway 37, not into the existing sewer behind in the alley or on Florida. So when Hewlin did the work last year, there was three active houses between Florida and Louisiana on Broadway Avenue. We dye tested and reconnected all three of those services, but there was actually a fourth service of a house that wasn't fronting Broadway and made that connection. So that might have, that work was all taken care of, and Vite was able to go in there, the subcontractor, and go back into the pipe that was lined and recut out the services. And I believe everything's back to normal on that situation. Just an update of what happened, in case some of the councilors heard some things about that situation there.
Yeah, any questions to John about that? And this incident brought up some more questions down in that area, and John is working on that to bring to the council at a future time whenever he gets the numbers.
I can update on that too, because there was a couple blocks in the project, the MnDOT project and the city's phase 2 project is addressing, all the bad utilities that exist between Broadway and the upper and lower alleys. And then like on Upper Florida, for example, that sewer was, it wasn't that bad a shape, so it wasn't being planned to be replaced with the project. And there was a couple more blocks. I am getting cost estimates. I think there was 3 blocks of sewer that we could line now versus in the future when, it was kind of planned when we do some of the street reconstruction work, we would address the sewer at that time. But I'm going to come back with the council with some cost estimates to do that work. And there's a couple other areas Sam and I want to take a look at. But, for example, the 3 blocks of sewer being one of them being Upper Florida, the total cost would be about $15,000 to reline those existing sewers. So, but there might be some additional work. I think I want to sit down and go over some areas with Sam to, maybe get into the upper alleys, with possible work yet this coming season. So we're working on those numbers, yes.
I had a meeting with John and Jim and Sam on this issue, and I will bring this back up to the council at a working session when we talk about those 4 blocks down in that neighborhood. Our little alley to alley through this whole corridor was miscommunicated somehow, and some of them didn't get done. So we're now going to go back and do it somehow. without messing up the main street, which I don't think we will. But for some reason, they were not done. So the communication about this to this didn't get through. So we're going to revisit this at a working session and see what much more needs to be done. Has to get done anyway. It's just not, no needs to be done. The only places where they needed any more work was I talked about it for a year and a half or 2 years. It was Lower Florida. And it was also brought to my attention, Lower Nebraska was done not too long ago. Everything else, not considering it's 100 years old or more. Florida, no, it's another situation there. They had that sewer pipe there is coming from Circle Drive down that half a block. And that was a plastic line in the 1970s. That's why he's talking about relining it or something. So just to make it a little bit better, you know, versus taking out. And then a lot of the stuff on the main street was the MnDOT lines that they're doing for us was relined. Not replaced, relined. Apparently this is a thing that MnDOT does, and this is a thing that's done in other communities. I don't remember ever talking about relining here. I'm not happy about that. But then again, if you got a one block on Main Street, gentlemen, we'll take a little bit more time here. We got 6 houses on Main Street, and we got the curb with the sewer line there. I'm not talking about going up the alley, up the streets now. I'm talking in front of Main Street, okay? The ones below Main Street are going to the street down. The ones in front of Main Street have a line in front of the curb, apparently, it goes out to the avenues, okay? So they relined this front, okay? Instead of taking this line, this block out. No, if I'm in this house, if my personal line goes bad, I'm gonna go back, tap into this main line. So it's gonna be uncovered on that curb, right? And your house could do the same thing. So there's gonna be maybe 6 different times these different individual houses could be opening up that main street anyway. Follow me? Not the avenues now, we're talking about the avenues. That's a city part, but this on a main street part. So there could be 6 different times throughout whenever, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that this line could go bad and they'd have to replace their line and they're gonna go in there and mess up that main street. So they're gonna expose it anyway. So hopefully they televised this line and came to the determination that, well, they can't televise the outside. I don't know if they can tell how thick this pipe is after all these years. But this new technology, they sprayed this 1/4-inch lining inside of it. And what happened with this other house, they went past that one, they thought it was a dead line, sprayed it and blocked it up. Instead of not going back and carving that opening out, thinking it was a dead, unused line. So here's what we're gonna have to discuss. I don't know what can be done. I'm not happy. I was, 2 weeks ago, I was really not happy. So we're gonna review this thing again. Working session, well, it can't be next time. We're gonna have a walkthrough. We can discuss it probably at that walkthrough. It's gonna be a working session walkthrough in that area. And here we can discuss all this. And John will probably have numbers by then, right, John?
Yes, sir. Well,
And we can discuss it at that time, you know. Be a good time to do the walkthrough and discuss. There's, I think, he said Florida, Virginia, and Louisiana upper now. It should have been dealt with under the alley to alley thing, okay? And was not. Anybody wants to say anything on that? Did they overkill that one? 2 weeks ago, you and I was not good. Anyway. All right, anything else, John?
nope, just agenda items.
Anything else for John by the council? Very good, thank you. Chief of Police, Thai teacher.
Mayor, usually I'm pretty quiet, but I have several items this evening. The first thing is what's on the agenda. Can we go through that one first, the number one for the squad car purchase? Yeah, before you, the letter 6C. Are there any questions on that? I kind of broke it down the best I could to try to lay it out why we're buying what we're buying. And obviously it comes down to cost. So are there any questions?
I think you're recommending that we purchase the Dodge Charger from Washke Family Chrysler at $27,137, which we are budgeted for, right?
Yes. Yep. And like I said, Dodge of Burnsville is cheaper. They have the state bid. However, that would require us to drive down to pick the vehicle up, and I don't see really a savings in that. So my recommendation would be the Dodge Charger. As you can see, most agencies are running the Ford Explorers, but those are running right up in that $32,000 range. And of course, the Chevy Tahoes are $35,000. So I think for the price, we get the cars have been working fine for us. The officers actually like the car, prefer the cars over the SUVs. So I think as long as they produce, I think it's probably the car to stick with. And like I said, we've been getting 130,000 miles out of them pretty regularly, and we've had very few problems with them.
A little history, 2018, we had an anonymous donor give us, City of Gilbert, when I say us, City of Gilbert, the money to purchase a car. In 2020, City Council budgeted for another car. And 2021, we budgeted for another car. Here's the other car. So 3 new cars since 2018-19. Your fleet should be, and plus we put $6,000 or $7,000 into that pickup truck. So you should be pretty good after this, huh, Ty?
So yes, we're hoping that the USDA grant comes through. If that USDA grant comes through, we should be sitting very good. Either way, whether we get the USDA grant or not, we should not have to budget for a squad car in 2022. And we maybe have to look at towards the end of 2023. So yeah, we've got 4 squad cars over 113,000 miles right now. And we put about 110,000 miles on a year. So we've been pretty lucky. We've been able to skip. We were buying a car every year since 2008, but since 2012, we've purchased a car in 14, 16, 17, and now 19, 20, and 21. So we should be good for a couple of years, or at least a good solid full fiscal year at least. And then towards the end of the second fiscal year, we can look at ordering, which means we probably wouldn't receive it until the fiscal year 2023. So that's what we're hoping for. So.
Well, we want you to have good vehicles and dependable vehicles to do your job with.
Yep, and we've been pretty, like I said, we've been pretty lucky. This last year, we kind of got caught because we weren't able to purchase another vehicle. So we kind of got caught on the back end, but surprisingly, the vehicles held up pretty well.
Okay. All right, I'm okay, recommend we budgeted it for this, that we purchase this. Motion by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Heitzman to approve the purchase of the Dodge Charger Washke Family Chrysler Vehicle, police car at $27,137. And I'm gonna ask the city attorney, everything looks proper here, I think.
Mayor, I believe everything's in good order.
Thank you. Anyone else?
The next thing is,
Oh, we didn't vote on it yet. Got to vote yet, Ty. Are there any questions for the council anymore? This discussion stage. Okay. None? Councilor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Heitzman?
Right.
Councilor Skinsich?
Aye.
Mayor Officer, aye. Motion carries 4-0. All right, go ahead, Ty.
all right. The next thing is on the agenda is dog feces. It's that time of year with the thawing of the snow that our little friends have left some precious treasures. And it's very apparent that there was a lack of people outside this winter picking up dog feces, and it has certainly accumulated in several yards within our community. Complaints starting to come in now. The smell is absolutely terrible. We've had 3 properties we've dealt with. I'm assuming that within the next week or 2, we will deal with several more. Shy of starting a poop patrol task force, we're just going to go off citizen complaints, and as we get them, we will continue to try and deal with them as they come. A couple of the problem residents that we've had year after year, we're citing and advising that they have 24 hours to pick it up. They do not, we will, depending on how bad it is, we're deeming it an immediate public health hazard, which will result in the city crew going on and scooping up the treasures.
Yep.
All right. Second thing, Hopkins Park. Absolutely, we've kind of failed on that in the last week or so. I'll certainly make my officers, even if they get up there late, to at least get the gates closed. We had 116 calls in the last 8 days, and things have really picked up for us. So, but we will certainly get up there, whether it's at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or midnight. We'll get up there to get those things closed. That's the other issue, is we may want to look at even closing those, except from the city crew needs to get up. People can still walk up there, but they can park on the road. A lot of people appear to be bringing their dogs up there to run. They don't get out of their vehicles. This is in the middle of the day also. And we're finding lots of dog treasures up there also. So we may monitor that and see if we're going to change that a little bit, where people can still walk up there, but they're not going to be able to drive up there. Next thing is we've been receiving several more complaints on loud exhaust. Seems like a new group of individuals were able to purchase trucks. They cut the exhaust systems off, and we're getting a lot more complaints on loud exhaust. So we've been trying to key in a little bit more on the loud exhaust. And in springtime, people are just wound up, and we tend to have more exhibition driving. Which leads into the next thing, Wayne, we've been trying to focus more on is speed enforcement. This last week, we've been trying to work right by the holiday station. We've gotten several complaints of vehicles traveling through at high rates of speed there. Our fastest one that we got in the 40 zone was 81. Our fastest one on Highway 135 was 92. And our fastest one on Main Street was 52. So we're seeing the speeds are really increasing. And I wouldn't be surprised in the next week or 2, we see a couple in the hundreds. So we're trying to deal with the speed complaints too. So we got a lot going on this time of year. And of course, the next thing is the ATVs. The ATVs are running pretty rampant this last week. We asked if they use the alleys. That's where a majority of the trails are. If they have any questions, we can certainly provide them with a map. But there is signage, and you should be able to sneak your way through town. But we ask you take the alleys and the main corridors that run, the alleys that specifically run behind Broadway Street. And then you do have some accesses going down Dakota Avenue, Iowa Avenue, and Kansas Avenue. So there are some access points. We just ask that people drive 10 miles per hour and are respectful of everybody. And I think that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Ty. I got a couple of things to add on there for you. You purchased that digital radar thing for Main Street. You said 52 you had person goes on. Where are we have a contractor putting up the lights on the other end of town down there.
Yep. And so we may have found some assistance and some funding sources with MnDOT also. So there may be a chance, a slight chance, we might actually get 2 for the price of 1. So I'm working on that currently, but those will be put up, once the poles are put up, we'll get the proper sign to put it in so we can put it in the right spot. Obviously, it'll be coming in from the south, heading north. And I'm not sure where we're gonna put them in the spot heading south. If it would be in the 400 block of Broadway Street North, or if we would get it further down in the 300 block. But then that puts you right in front of like the VFW and that area, so.
Well, yeah, by the time they get midway down the main street, they're going 50, 60. They're not so fast down, making that turn down there from Wabick or up for Holiday coming down. But they're gonna pick up speed a little bit farther down. So you'll have to decide where to put that one. But you are working on it, that's all I'm asking.
Yep, and we're just kind of waiting, once the getting put in place, then they'll be kind of last thing to get put in. So we know we put in the right spot, and then they'll be secured with the proper equipment, so.
Okay, and the last thing on council, April 27th meeting, working session. We'll have a working session and on that agenda will be cliffs. We'll still have some time. We need to be talking about the cliffs. I've met with me and Jim have met with our insurance agent on that. And the pros and cons about this cliff thing coming up. So we need to discuss that, and I hope Ty can be at that working session on the 27th. Ty?
Yep.
I don't think we'll have time on the 13th with our walkthrough and all that stuff, so.
And I have one more thing too. Today we met with the Blight Committee, and I'll be working, actually this evening, I'll probably meet with Attorney Lindsay to come up with a letter. What we're gonna try to do is, last fall we identified 72, actually we're up to 74 or 76 properties. We're gonna try to bring 5 to the council within the next, hopefully by next council meeting, if not the meeting after that. We're shooting for next council meeting. Part of the order I want to make sure that Brian takes a look at, so we have the language drafted, is we have to they haven't been in compliance. We serve the property owner with a notice that they have to appear before the council to state their case, and the council make a determination whether or not to abate the property, which would mean basically send somebody on to clean up. We had this discussion in regards if whether or not we should have the city crew do it, or if we should have a private contractor. We felt in lieu of that the cost initially to the city, but will be reimbursed by the property owner, whether it's through billing or putting on the tax rolls. Is that one is for liability, one is if a city worker gets injured or whatever else, and they've got other things to do rather than clean up private property. So we decided that we're going to look at probably into a private contract to do the cleanup on some of the worst properties. And we would have such as Armory Shell, towing, remove the vehicles from properties. But I just want to make sure that we get the language properly put in place in the letters to meet state statute. And I'll rely on Brian to come up with a couple of letters for that. The one issue just to keep in mind is that part of the ordinance calls that we will have to have a special meeting every time. My suggestion would be if we can bring that 3 to 5 people at a time before the council. Basically during the regular council meeting, you would adjourn at some point in the meeting to hold the public hearing in regards to the abatement. Obviously, we don't want to bring 74 people here because we will be here for hours on end. So we want to try to bring 1 or 2 people in at a time. And then it'll be up to the council to decide whether or not we abate that property. And that was some of the changes that were made through all the ordinances over the past several years. It was to try to keep all the courts and keep costs down and try to let the city take in their own hands to try to get compliance, get the town cleaned up. And hopefully there'll be some growing pains this year. There'll be a lot of cases this year, but the idea is that this will be a bad year, but in years moving forward that there'll be more compliance. Couple of things that need to be discussed by the council at one time is that you will need to set a fine schedule. Right now we have for repeat offenders to increase the fines, but that is usually set at the first council meeting of the month in January. So I'm not sure if we could buy up there, but for at least this year, we've got something in place, but it's something we need to look at in the future. So my goal is to bring 2 to 5 properties initially, give it a shot, see how it works. We do that in Biwabic. Generally, nobody shows. I think we've had 1 people out of, a couple dozen ever show to plead their case, and we end up going and baiting the property. So hang on, it's going to be a rough couple months, but I think once we get through it and get a few things done, I think we'll be smooth sail in the future, and hopefully Gilbert will be one of the cities that's in better shape in regards to blights or nuisances.
Okay, you said something about you want some more language in the ordinance we just passed.
Correct, Mayor. And the chief can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is the chief is looking for the language setting the administrative hearing before the council and notifying people of their right.
Yep, exactly. So I'll work with Brian on drafting 2 letters. One is what we serve the property owner initially to appear, and then a second letter that we can serve them when the council votes to abate the property, to serve them that. Then we can then go onto the property and deal with the situation. So.
And then again, this all doesn't start till May 1st, this part, right?
No, the reality is this, is that the way the ordinance is written now, we can use it now, but with the individuals that are working on the commission or on the board, then May 1st will be, but we're just trying to get the properties from last year, trying to line them up right now.
Is that correct? Right.
Correct. We have all the necessary provisions within the ordinances currently to start enforcement.
Okay, all right. Oh, yeah, we just added the committee on this ordinance. Everything else stayed, Okay, very good, Ty. Anything else?
I think I covered enough tonight.
Council have anything for Ty?
Just one thing, Mayor.
Councilor Pulis.
Ty, I just want to put out there, we appreciate everything you're doing out there for all the stuff you got going on right now. And if there's anything that us as a council or mayor can do, let us know and we will help in any way we can.
Thank you. I think the biggest thing will be this blight. This can be our biggest challenge, but I think if we take it on, I think we'll see some improvements.
And everything okay? Your officer is working fine for the department and everything?
Yes, he's been getting some good experience. Things are picking up now. Like I said, we had 116 calls here in the last 8 days. So it's been busy and we're getting he's getting his feet wet.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we covered a lot there. So one last piece is that cliff thing. Take that.
Yep. I will be there on the 27th.
I see Clerk Jim has something.
Yeah, Mayor, on 4/27, we have tentatively scheduled MnDOT already to hold a meeting here in Chambers at 5 o'clock. As part of the working session, he wanted to meet with the businesses affected by the construction this season.
That's a MnDOT thing. That's a MnDOT thing. So let's put this Cliffs on the working session for the 13th. We can walk and talk everything.
All right.
We're not going to pass any legislation. It's just talk.
Yeah, I'm just making you aware of what we have scheduled already. So we'll put this on for the 13th.
Yeah.
It's part of the walking tour.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Working sessions are never pass any legislation at all. It's just discussion. So we got the down on that car purchase. You got all the minutes. Okay. There. Public Works Director Sam Lotiger.
I don't have much other than what's on the agenda here. Just to give the update on what we got going on. We're all ready to start street sweeping. Had the guys out for 1 day here, pothole filling, and hopefully get out in the next couple days here. If it turns nice out, it sounds like we got some weather coming in, so we might be snow plowing again. So we're doing what we can as kind of weather dependent here on that end. Going back to the agenda, I have the water plant IT upgrade. I don't have anything for the council as of the moment. As the IT person that I've been dealing with was on vacation, so I couldn't get any numbers from him. I was hoping this was a part of the water plant upgrade that we were looking at doing. And there's just some VFDs is what it was on the high service pumps, and then also this well project that we would like a VFD on that. So you guys, I'll bring that. I'm gonna just table that for this meeting. I don't have anything to you guys, so I'll hopefully I'll have it for the next meeting on that end. Then on to the Thean well summary. We had Thean well come and you guys did approve. I think it was back in February or something like that. They came in and looked at well 3. It turned out it was in terrible shape. The shaft, I don't know if you guys got colored pictures or not. The colored pictures, you know, that's probably 35 years. I think, yeah, they do it justice if you see them in color. It was pretty terrible. So we ended up having to, there's some additional costs that we're going to have to pass tonight to fix that well due to the severity issues of that well. But I did talk with John Jamnick, and I sent also Kevin Young from SCH stuff on this well, and talking with Zach from Thean. Well, he said the casing is in good shape. Everything looks like it will last if we replace the guts there, and you know it could last for many years. He's seen this is kind of as the casing. I was worried about the casing. I was worried about the screen inside the well, but this isn't anything different that he's seen. He told me so. I believe they got the well was put in, I think in the early 80s or late 70s. And it was supposed to produce 400 gallons a minute. And it will reach that when we do that. So he has no issues putting this stuff back into it. It's not going to be a problem for the next 20-25 years. We just got to do ongoing maintenance is what we have to do. And I kind of have a thought where we should be pulling these pumps and doing tests every 5 years. So there's going to be a little bit more we do as staff here and bring forward for these guys to come in and check these wells, make sure they're up and running so we don't run into this issue again. So so this is, I guess, one thing I'd like you guys to approve is it would be $12,776 for the additional cost for this well. And you know that includes a new pump and columns and shafts and that.
What's the price again? We have a different price here. Jim?
Mayor, that was the updated Thean well proposal that I handed out before the meeting. It reflects the $12,776 price.
Okay. Oh, that's updated. Oh, yeah. Okay, now this is number 3. This is not up on the hill, right? This is.
No, this is in that little house.
Next to the plant there, right?
Yep.
And 1 and 2 are tied together with a T, and this is by itself, right?
Yes.
Okay, then the other 4 or 5 were put on the hill, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's been there a while and has been touched since then.
As far as I know, it probably hasn't, but you know, we don't have too many good records on hand, so.
Wow, that's been there. It's been there in the 80s. been there in the 80s already. Oh, okay. All right, I recommend we go ahead and do this. This is part of the SEH group. They had this on their list and they took it off their list because we had it on our list already to do. And they recommended we do it. Remember that discussion we had? That we go ahead and do it and it wouldn't be on that list of theirs, so.
I'll make a motion for it.
I'll support that.
Motion by Counselor Skinsich, supported by Counselor Heitzman to approve the contract with Thea and Well to do the work on well number 3 at the cost of $12,776 to bring it back up to speed. Any more discussion? Counselor Skinsich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman. Counselor Pulis.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Anything else?
I have nothing else unless the council or mayor have anything for me.
We're just skipping through the water plant IT upgrade, just skipping that one, right?
Yep,
All right.
yep.
All right, well, here it is. Anything for Sam? We have anybody here? I hope we don't get no more snow, but I'm telling you what, I think April 19th, 18th for the last number of years, 16, 18 inches, a bad one big blast. A slushy one for a couple of days and it's gone. Well, so don't put the plows away yet. All right, anybody? Library Director Sue the Boss, she's still around.
I'm here.
Okay, Sue.
Okay, now, I've mentioned that I've done the big, huge Minnesota report, which makes doing taxes a breeze. But it's done and it's okay. And it's been sent into the state. I was also approached by a reporter from PBS in Duluth. And we had Sabrina do an interview. The reporter thought that the little Gilbert library was so cute, so happy, so much fun. It made her feel good to be in it. And she did a report, which I will let everybody know when we are told it's going to be shown, about our take and makes and what we do at the library. So kudos. I also have a request for a volunteer. In the past, we have done 14-year-olds, no earlier, but it can go from 14 and up. And this particular person would like to consider a career in library science as they get older and would like to start volunteering at our library. Also, I've talked with Paula Chapman in Aurora, and she'll be asking her city council about this person also. And when Evelyn opens up, Mary Ellen Higgins can also sponsor this person. And they will not be behind the counter. They will not be on the computer checking in or checking out where you could actually see a person's name. You know, and that we will have no privacy issues. But there is so much more for this particular person or anyone to learn about library science, the ins and outs, the cataloging, the everything. Just when we're doing any kind of imaging, when we're going to be working with the computer, when we're going to be doing the web page, when we're going to catalog the books, the magazines, the DVDs, and everything that's in and out. Now, to that end, I realize that each one of us takes at least 4 classes per year. This doesn't cost the city anything. This is through the Arrowhead Library System. And we take between 4 to 6 or more classes per year with library science. And this person will be also allowed to try this also. So I guess what I'm asking is if the council is agreeable to let this person try volunteering with us.
I have no problem with it. I don't see a problem. Clerk, you see a problem there? No problem there. How about council? Attorney, nothing? There's no issue by anybody here. I guess we don't think we need a formal motion on that. Do we?
Well, we all know the family very well, very responsible family.
I don't think consensus of the council is to go ahead with that. As long as your library board's okay with it. All
Mhm.
right. Yeah, all right.
Yep, we're good with that. And, that's really all I have. We're doing just fine and everything's, again, great and happy. But I did have one thing. When we were talking about the money, like the $3,000 for utilities, I just want people to realize that we don't turn on the lights, of course, until we let you come in. Then I flip the lights on. Water, well, there's 3 ladies, so we use a bit of water. And heat, the heat is the building. The building is heated, so I guess we get some of your heat. We do not touch it. It's kept at 65. So I can honestly tell you, we are not abusing the utilities. And I would like the people out there that are watching this to know that we are very careful with city utilities. And that's all I have to say, except I just love my job.
Very good report. Thank you. And you got the green light from us over there. And as long as your board is okay with it, we don't see no liability issues or anything here. So as long as you're not.
I think you'll enjoy. If you come over, I think you'll enjoy this person.
Very good. Thank you. Executive Administrative Clerk, Mr. Jim Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just, once again on the agenda was my library community center utilities that we talked about earlier. But just to make sure everyone is aware, it's $3,200 reallocation. The reallocation of those expenses does not, I was just going to reiterate, does not add an additional amount to the library budget, does not add an additional amount to the city budget. We will find those dollars elsewhere in the city budget. And as I explained to council last week, if we can't, then we'll come back and discuss that at council. But I just wanted everyone to be clear that there was no additional budget dollars on that reallocation. Second piece I had there, Minnesota OSHA Workplace Safety Consultation. I mentioned that to the council last week. We are shooting for our meeting with the insurance company, the league, and Minnesota OSHA for the first week of May to have that workplace consultation done. And right now, I don't have any of the other information as they're gathering it to send to me. But that's our tentative time frame, first week of May. Everything else is agenda items.
Can you remind the council who's having this hearing, the Water Light Board or the City Council with the Sparta location?
The deferred assessment hearing that is next week at, I believe, 6 o'clock here in the council chambers, and that is with the City Council. This is the assessment that was originally undertaken in 2008, and there were X amount of parcels in the city that were exempted from that at the time, and those assessments are now being reinstated under the original terms, and the homeowners or the parcel owners have been notified. It's been posted in the paper, and we will have that Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
All right, thank you. Everybody get that? Next week, 5 o'clock? Or is it 6 o'clock? Huh?
6. I said 6. Mayor, I'd like to verify that time.
Yeah.
So.
Anybody got any questions for Jim before he?
Actually, I do. It's a quick question.
Okay.
When you were talking about the working session, you were asking about for the business owners, for what's going to happen with the street. Would you like people from the library board or anyone else to attend this?
Yeah,
So that
they're welcome, yes.
Yep, absolutely.
They're welcome, absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, yeah. They're gonna be affected here for a few weeks there. All right? Very good. Well, first of all, do council will have anything additional to ask? Okay. We have acknowledged some boards commission minutes. We have the Water and Light Board minutes of 2/17/21, 2/18/21, and 3/4 of 21. I'll take care of the minutes and I'll go through these other stuff. Approving the minutes, and we'll talk about the recommendations and some other issues they need council approval over.
I'll move.
Moved by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Heitzman to approve those minutes of the Water and Light Board of 2/17/21, 2/18/21, and 3/4/21. Any more discussion? Councilor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Heitzman? Councilor Skinsich?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Yep,
6 PM next Tuesday.
6 PM next Tuesday. All right. Next, we have the meter opt-out form and fee approval. We discussed at length, and now we need to take some action. I recommend for the council, as far as the meter out program form and fee approval, that the only case the council would consider of opting out would be under a medical issue of not obtaining a new electric or water meter, and with the proper documentation or authorization from a physician that in no way, no how is it be in your well-being, person's well-being, to having this type of meter be placed into the water meters, our old water meter or electric meter, because they have some I don't know, a little bit of radiation, maybe not radioactive waves or something like that. If you had that, you would have to come to the council to get an okay, that an opt-out on that, and with that opt-out from a physician, no other excuses. Be cost $15 to opt out with that excuse of not good to your health. And otherwise, all the other details in this opt-out language stay the same. And I think everybody was gonna get that in their water light bill? No, somehow, Jim? Or they can come to see you? Yeah,
If they need the form,
yeah,
they can contact City Hall.
yeah, okay. So I recommend the only language we use for opting out is by physician's request for medical reasons, basically general. And then that case would be the $15 fee per month to opt out under those provisions, huh? Per meter, $15 a month per meter for that reason alone, medical reasons. And that will be brought up to the council and no other reasons. Unless you wanna form it some other way.
I'll make a motion for that,
As I stated,
as stated.
moved by Counselor Skinsich to move on that as stated, supported by Counselor Heitzman. Everybody got that language? Clerks? Yeah. Any other discussion? Water and Light Board, Leo?
Just so we're clear that in that stipulation, there was that to be reviewed after 1 year. If there's any major changes, you know,
Yeah.
that should be in the motion.
Like I say, everything else in that language stays the same.
Yeah, it states that.
Just, I highlighted the basic stuff and everything else stayed the same in that language and that document. Any more discussion?
Mayor, just to clarify, the opt-out, if approved, would be good for 3 years. That says in the request. The 1 year review is for the fee for the meter opt-out, just so everyone's clear.
So we're not opting out for 3 years?
The opt-out would be valid for 3 years.
Yeah, but we're only charging for 1 year?
The fee will be reviewed after 1 year.
Oh, review. All right, so it can be, all right, we're good, like, all, the rest of the document stays intact, yeah.
Yes.
We just highlighted those basic highlights, right? Yeah, all right, Counselor Heitzman, how do you vote? Counselor Skinsich?
Aye.
Counselor Pulis?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Water and Light Board vacancy, I'm still working on that one. I have nobody. We had one person just leave last week, last meeting. Also, recommendation, would the board like to have a meeting with Sam? Has that not happened?
Yes, we did.
Okay, that's happened. Any other recommendations that I'm missing? Any other recommendations? We'll get that, yeah, that's the next one. But no other recommendations other than a meeting change, date change?
I believe we put the meeting at Wednesdays until fall, then we'll get back to Thursday.
So we are gonna move the meeting, change the meetings?
I think it stays the same until.
The- The recommendation that was forwarded to the council is that the Water and Light Board would like to change their meeting times from April through October to the third Thursday of the month at 6 PM.
April to October, third Thursday. And then it goes back to the normal, which is what?
It accommodates one of the members.
Yeah, that's fine. I need to, where are we at here on that one? That was buried in my working session here, right here. Okay. All right. Need a motion to, okay, the Water and Light Board meeting times from April to October to the third Thursday of the month at 6 PM.
I'll move.
Moved by Counselor Pulis, supported by Counselor Heitzman. And then we revert back to the third Wednesday of the month at 6 PM after that. Between the other months, between October to April. Yeah. Okay. Any more discussion? Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman?
Aye.
Counselor Skinsich?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries. That concludes that. Others fail, Gilbert School District Joint Powers Recreation Board minutes of 3/10/2021. We don't have that. Is that my additions here? Didn't have it in my packet, so. No, I didn't have it. I didn't see it in my packet. But we don't approve the minutes yet. There's no recommendations and we affirmed that they had a meeting, right? Or you want to, okay for,
Oh, it's way back here.
you got it?
I got it.
I didn't see it. If I missed it, I missed it.
I'll move. I'll support it.
No, I don't have it. Moved by Counselor Pulis, supported by Counselor Skinsich to approve the March 10th, 2021 minutes of the Atvs Vale Gilbert School District Joint Powers Recreation Board minutes. I'm reviewing it here quickly. Looks like they're pretty busy. And appears that our new board member from Gilbert is active here already, correct? Oh, is that a different Scott? No, it's a different Scott.
No, that's,
Oh, but Brad
that's him.
Scott's up there, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah. He's actively involved in this. All right. Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman.
Right.
Counselor Skinsich.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0 to approve the minutes of 3/10/2021. All right, old business wastewater treatment plant update. Who cares to talk about that? Sam? Jim, what wastewater treatment plant update?
I guess, I don't really have an update other than, well, I guess I do have an update. We had Ovivo representatives here on site last week. They helped us out with some of the CIP room issues. We think we had 2 successful cleans, but they worked really well. We didn't have any issues. We think we got it under control. We're supposed to do a clean here tomorrow to see now if everything will work out like we left it. We found some other issues with a couple of the blowers that warranty issues that are getting looked into here. What else? I think that was it. We did though. They were here for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I believe they were here on site. So we had a pretty good week with them. Other than that, it's running as normal. We still haven't heard anything from the change order list. As warranty issues pop up, they help us out with it. Magni does, so that's been working fine. That's about all I have, I think, as far as an update. If there's any questions, I should be able to answer them.
When I was going through this list, I saw some areas that were not scratched off or marked off, like water dripping in electrical units.
I guess
Station or something like that, or
I guess are you looking at the list that was provided with the council packet?
yeah.
Okay, what page are you on there? Or do you know? Do you see a page number or?
We got page
you're
number
looking?
6. We have that chemical storage room. The tank and bleach acid was not bad.
Okay,
Where that electrical was.
okay, what number are you looking at? Are you on the change order list or that's where I'm.
Comprehensive list.
What's that?
The comprehensive list. Is this
Okay.
one outdated now, this comprehensive list? Is that still active?
No, this one's still active. That's the change order list. Or, oh, they're all comprehensive. They're all listed as comprehensive lists.
Oh.
Yes, we're still working on all of these items that aren't crossed out. That if they're crossed out, that means we've come to an agreement with them. But if they are crossed out, or if they're not, then we're still looking into stuff.
Page number 5, line number 5. MBR building, condensation builds up on the blower inlet pipe, dripping water on top of electrical lights behind blowers. This condensation leaves.
Yep, they haven't fixed that yet. There was a call into Magny. They came to look at it, but Trudy didn't know when they were down there to look at it. Trudy didn't know what that they were talking about, and it was towards the end of the day, and I think I was on vacation or something. I wasn't around, and Tara was off too, so they didn't fix it. But when we talked to them the week after, we mentioned what it actually is, and there's a penetration through the floor where water condensates off of the blower line motors when it goes through the roof, and it condensates so much it runs down and through the hole on this in the floor. So they just got to caulk up the floor and it'll be all fine. And at our last meeting, which was probably 2 weeks ago, we went through this with them. So
Okay, so you're happy and satisfied?
with the list so far, yes.
Okay. Any questions on that wastewater treatment plant update by the council? All right, Minnesota Highway 37 update. I have just to say that we have that April 27th, April 13th, we have a walkthrough down here with a working session starting at 4 o'clock. So we get done by 5:30 here and get ready for our regular meeting. And we have the public hearing, which is going to be hosted by the highway department, running by the highway department to for all the businesses on Main Street for any questions they may have. And it's going to be up a full season right from as soon as they can get out on there in May sometime, right to October. Hopefully we don't get lucky like we did last year. Prayers worked for a week. We had that nice, beautiful weather and we got everything done. Otherwise, we would have been in one lane all winter long here, one side. God, we lucked out there, boy. I tell you, we don't want to have that happen again, I hope, where we depend on good blessing. As far as where people are seeing now at the Highway 37 on this side of Main Street, where the 4 blocks, we're putting up our new lights on that area. And those receptacles, well, are not in that area, but I asked the gentleman down there that were working on the other parts of the town where we have those receptacles for our Christmas lighting. They are there. They are there, 13 feet or whatever, about they are there. Right, Sam?
Yes, they are. Actually, I was down there here last Thursday, and I physically seen them. They are there.
They're there. And then these lights will be uniform with the rest of the Main Street, same height, 30 feet high, all the way down, and maintenance free. No painting, no nothing, maintenance free. So they should last a long, long time. That's what we ordered, right? Sam, still that case, right?
Yes, as far as I know. Yep.
No, because I've seen things we ordered and changed. So those are going up and they're almost all up down in that area, plus the lights on the sidewalks down there will be up. And they'll be, as soon as they can, start this end of town up to the VFW. And be done by July 1st there. Depending on how the 4th of July goes, parade, no parade, we're gonna, 1 week, the first week of July will be a pause in the action. And we'll pick it up again in the second week of July and continue to October 15th. Hopefully everything will be done. That's the update with 37. Plus on 35, we're gonna get some lighting up there, hopefully by the holiday for the pedestrians going across that intersection there. All right. Any more questions on that 37? All right, resolution 2021-05. IRRB Community Infrastructure Program Water Treatment Plant Improvements. Apparently, something has changed. We are available to get some help, correct?
That is correct. We had meetings between SEH, ourselves, and the IRRB, and we believe we found a potential funding source, leveraging some of the improvements we've already made. So this is a good resolution.
Okay, we're going seeking out some more. So I need to take the vote, and because I have to plug in the results into the resolution here. I'm in favor of the council to approve the resolution 2125-05, which will authorize mayor and clerk to make a application to the IRRB Community Infrastructure Program for water treatment plant improvements.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Motion by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Heitzman to authorize this resolution 2021-05. Any more discussion? Councilor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Heitzman.
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich.
Aye.
Mayor Overser, aye. Motion carries 4-0. And the resolution reads as follows. City of Gilbert, Minnesota, Resolution 2021-05. State of Minnesota, County of St. Louis, City of Gilbert, resolution authorizing mayor and clerk to make application to the Iron Range Resources Community Infrastructure Program for water treatment plant improvements. Whereas the city council approves of the above application because it supports community and economic development. Now therefore be resolved that the city council of Gilbert, Minnesota does hereby adopt this resolution. Vote taken thereon, the following voted for. Councilor Pulis, Councilor Heitzman, Councilor Skinsich, Mayor Oberstar, voting against, none. Whereupon said resolution number 2021-05 was declared duly passed and adopted this 23rd day of March 2021. All right, done. All right, resolution 21-06. Okay. I either table this one or we'll discuss this one. I'm asking where the need for a blight board came about. And because what power does this have to make this a board? I have people now on the task force that are on other boards in town. And now we got this, need to be cleared up on how many boards you can be on. They're not willing to step off their other boards, I'm sure. I'm assuming, I know one won't, and one, I know, I'm assuming the other will, I don't know for sure. Want to stay on their other boards instead of moving on to this board. So where's the power or more power to make this a board versus maybe just blight officers of some kind, all 5 or how many they are. What is the advantage of, to the city of making this a board? Or, and if so, make it a board. But then I need to get other people, I believe, to be on, some other people, not all, to make this a 5-member board and not be in conflict with being on 2 different boards. Well, Jim, you had some information about, clear up about how many boards you can be on?
Yeah, I don't know where the conflict lies, but if there is, we'd certainly like to take a look at it. But under boards and commissions, the city organizations, 31.20, generally for boards or commissions, contained in that paragraph, no person shall serve on 2 boards or commissions at the same time. This is our current ordinance, so I don't know where the conflict comes from.
Mayor, if I may.
Yeah.
The conflict, although I agree with Mr. Paulson's assessment, the conflict may come from, there's a separate set of language that applies specifically to council members in section 2.02 of the charter, but those 2 provisions are not in conflict, they work together.
So, that,
Yes, to Attorney Lindsay's point, yeah, section 2.02 boards and commissions is the instructions for the members of the council. I'm referring to the boards and commissions generally for members of the public.
so, once upon a time, there was counselors and water and light board members. I came in another era and diffused that one, and it didn't go over very well because of that. So that's still intact, right? And for the public, they can't serve on 2 boards. I know in 2019, I had that issue with a gentleman, and he wanted this, was on 2 boards already then when I came back into office for a year or 2 or whatever, and I can't do that because it was up for renewal. And that's what we went by. So he stepped off of one and stayed on the other one. And this is what we based it on. So, and here we're gonna have one member of the blight committees is on our board. So what, again, I'm gonna go back after this. What is the advantage to having this as a board? Versus, yeah, I can have it as a board. I can get other people maybe to serve on this board. But I surely don't want Mr. Ponton and Mr. Gentile, they're on this committee. So I want them still involved, but they're definitely going to be, I'm sure they're not going to step up and be board members and leave their other board.
Mayor, maybe just briefly to speak to that point, forming or establishing an official board or commission with the city gives a couple of different advantages. Number one, I know in city government, we're always looking for transparency. It subjects those bodies to the open meeting law and creates a little bit of transparency, allows people to attend meetings when the board or commission would meet as a whole. It also creates some advantage as far as access to city staff or resources that can be assigned to assist a board or commission. And so there are some organizational advantages to creating it as an official board or commission.
So this board would be advisory though, still to the council, right?
Well, this board or this board or commission would be advisory in certain respects, but by statute, we would give them the authority to work with law enforcement to actually do some of the enforcement. So there's a provision within the updated ordinance that allows a member of the blight task force to work with law enforcement to have citations issued for blighted properties.
Okay.
So it would be I would call it advisory plus.
2 good points. So how can the current members still retain staying as a volunteer basically on this task force, right? I mean, can we just have just board members or can we have some volunteers also? Otherwise, I'm gonna lose probably 2 people off this thing.
And this may get into one of the other additional advantages of a board or commission formal creation, and that would be extension of some certain of the city protections to those individuals. And so I suppose you could have individuals who volunteered to assist, but when you're volunteering outside of a formal appointment to a board or commission, certain of the protections that cities gain, liability protections and potentially insurance coverages, may not extend to those volunteers. And so there is some potential there, but it may come with some risk as well.
Okay, as for me now, you've answered 3 good points that I've been worried about. And I agree, those are good, valid reasons why the board would help and be an advantage. And we'll see what the other folks do. You know, I'm hoping they stay where they're at, but be involved somehow and help me fill this board. Okay, Bob.
Yeah. So make the suggestion, because of the lack of interest in people getting on boards like the campground, and we've been short forever on ours, on our water and light board, why doesn't the city adopt an amendment to it and allow people to be on 2 boards if they want to? And, you know, change the charter a little bit, make an amendment to the ordinance where you can allow somebody who wants to be on 2 boards, allow them to do that. Because otherwise, I don't think you're going to fill, I know you're never going to fill a blight board, ever. Nobody wants that on their shoulders. So I think you'd be wasting your time developing a blight board, but like for the campground and for getting 1 more person on ours, you know, if we could, people go on 2 boards, I think that's the only way you're going to fill them here in Gilbert.
I'll go back to the water and light board. I put 2 people on there. You had a complete board for a period of time. You had Christian and he went away, resigned, and now you had Brad, but then he decided to go on another board. He swapped. So I filled it a couple of times. They weren't empty forever, Bob.
No, but probably. You filled it for maybe 1/4 of the time. That's it.
That is not my fault.
No, it's not your fault, but if you had people allowed to be on 2 boards, then you'd probably fill up these boards. Like for instance, I could go on the campground board, you know, right now. And at least you can have meetings because you'd have a quorum.
I would agree with that, but I think what the rationale was or logic by this is opportunity would be not given to the rest of the community to be on a board. If maybe everybody be on 5 boards, 6 boards, and nobody.
But if anybody wanted to be on a board, all they'd have to do is speak up, and the people that are on 2 could just resign from the 1.
Mr. Mayor.
No problem.
Maybe, well, Councilor Heisman, there you go.
If we were to recommend an amendment to the charter as it sits, with the stipulation that if there were more volunteers that were interested, that the person that had duplicity on both boards would be relegated to bump back to his original board or choose one. If in the rare event that there would be enough volunteers to fill all of these spots. So, I mean, it's just semantics. It could be worded so that if people were interested, we could find a place to have them serve.
Yeah, that's a lengthy process to change that, right? To change that again now? Charter? Or no?
Correct, Mayor. It's a lengthy process to change their charter. However, the restriction on individuals, not council members, the restriction on individuals is contained within the ordinances. It's council members that are restricted by the charter.
Okay, so we could change that then, and if the council wish to think about it and have this thing changed, maybe still yet this year? Huh?
Yeah,
The amendment to the ordinance, Mayor, would take an introduction, 2 readings, and then a vote. So it takes some time, but it's not by any means insurmountable.
Can put this on the agenda for next meeting to talk about it and pass about it. I don't want to do it right now, okay?
No, but I think it does merit discussion. Moving forward so that the campground board could be filled, the blight board could possibly be filled, while not losing the people that are still interested in serving on the water and light board and utilizing their willingness to volunteer.
I agree. I think we could pass this blight board right tonight then, and then go proceed on getting that other piece changed. How's that? Get this piece of the puzzle done now. Probably won't be getting it filled for some time yet. Yeah,
Yeah, I have a request from the attorney. I believe that the restrictions are based on the city charter, and the only people can make the change is the charter commission. So you have to set up activate the charter commission to make the changes. I don't think it's in the power of the
Well,
council.
here's the only piece of the charter was that the council can't be on this board and on a water line board.
Is that
The
correct?
ordinance, a real simple ordinance only involves the public.
Yeah.
Okay, not the charter. The
I
charter
just would
involves the
wish
council.
that the city attorney would clarify that for the council so it's done correctly. It's my understanding that it falls under purview of the charter commission, but that's my opinion.
Right.
I'd like the attorney to research that and get it right.
I agree. I mean, but that's what we're assuming. That's the way it goes. We're under the charter, being on 2 boards. Public are under a simple ordinance that can be changed.
I would like the city attorney to look into that and this is the right move.
Of course,
I believe
of course,
it falls under the purview of the charter commission.
of course.
And Mayor, for the next meeting, I can create a memo for the council.
Very good. So why don't we just table this for next meeting too, right? Huh?
I think so. Till we get the right wording.
Let's table this because even still, I need clarification now. This task force still be able to move, this ain't all not gonna be done by May 1st now. Are they still gonna be able to proceed and help assist the police department with the blight issue?
Mayor, as a technical matter, we can create by resolution the border commission, or we can formalize the task force. The task force for the members that we can get assigned can begin acting.
We did that last year though, when I created that task force.
Right, and we could, I apologize for clarification. We could address the resolution that's before the council now, and then we would face the secondary question about making an amendment to allow an individual to serve on more than one border commission. But as a technical matter, the blight task force, we could pass the resolution establishing it as a border commission, and it could theoretically begin acting May 1st. The only amendment that wouldn't be probably able to be brought forward before May 1st would be to allow 2 people to allow a person to serve on 2 boards or commissions at the same time.
So you recommend we table this or approve it tonight? Doesn't matter either way.
Right, I think there may be some, from my perspective, from a legal and liability perspective, I think there's some good sense in formalizing the blight task force as a board or commission of the council.
I agree.
And then we address the secondary question as we move forward. I can prepare a memo for the council about the appropriate measures to take to adjust the number that can serve on any board or commission at any given time. And then the council can have a discussion about whether or not it desires to make those changes.
Yeah, I liked what you told us about the advantage about the legal parts of it, and so I think he's saying go ahead and pass it.
That being the case, I'd like to make a motion to pass this resolution.
I'll support.
Moved by Counselor Heisman, supported by Counselor Pulis to approve resolution 2021-06, establishing the blight board. Any more discussion on that? Okay, Counselor Heisman, how do you vote? Counselor Pulis?
Aye.
Counselor Skinsich?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-1. And I'll read 2021-06. City of Gilbert, Resolution 2021-06, resolution establishing City of Gilbert Board. State of Minnesota, County of St. Louis, City of Gilbert, whereas State of Minnesota, County of St. Louis, City of Gilbert, whereas the City Council of the City of Gilbert, St. Louis County, Minnesota hereby adopts the following resolution. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Blight Board of the City of Gilbert pursuant to Section 2.02 of the Gilbert City Charter shall consist of 5 members and shall be established. The board shall be composed of 5 members who shall serve staggered 3-year terms, beginning with the following terms. A, 1 board member, 1-year term. B, 2 board members, 2-year terms. And C, 2 board members, 3-year terms. 2, board members may serve multiple terms upon approval of the city council. It is further resolved, the board shall advise the council in all matters relating to the blight in the city. Adopted by City Council 2021, March 23rd, 2021. Ayes, Counselor Pulis, Counselor Heitzman, Counselor Skinsich, Mayor Oberstar. Nays, none. Motion, resolution is adopted. Correct. A lot of stuff today, guys. All right, Sam Lotiger's still aboard. He wants to us to start advertising for some summer help. 2 seasonal employees to be paid at a minimum wage of $10.08 an hour. Sam, you care to speak on this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to, but it's pretty self-explanatory. We just need to go out for our summer help employment. I'm looking at hiring 2 people again. I think that's what we put into the budget. So it's all just like approval. And then once we find the candidates, we'll come back to council and give you guys the best candidates we have.
When will these be starting now? Like June or what?
Usually mid-May to beginning of June is when I like to get them started.
All right, that's a yearly thing and budgeted as well. Anybody want to move?
I'll move.
Moved by Counselor Skinsich, supported by Counselor Heitzman to approve authorization of the city clerk and the city public works director to go out and advertise for 2 summer employees for the city of Gilbert. Any more discussion? Counselor Heitzman, how do you vote? Aye. Counselor Skinsich.
Aye.
Counselor Pulis.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Okay. Wastewater treatment plant, Vermillion College, Community College internship. I'll have Jim or Sam talk about that. We have an opportunity to get we've always, not always, the last few years we haven't, but in the past, we've always had somebody in wastewater treatment plant program at the college, and basically Vermillion College. And they've always supplied Gilbert with a summer internship person and with parameters about employment between us and them. And Jim will talk about that.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This program's been, City of Gilbert's worked with Vermillion CC over many years on this very program. And as you can see, the parameters are 75% wage compensation. The college picks up The wage per the agreement is $12 an hour, and the college would schedule them 20 to 32 hours a week. The only issue with this contract, the Vermillion CC has been updating it, and on the final page there, you see that the effective dates, we'll have those changed, of course. That says 2018, but it's a good program. It gives some good experience to the future operators, and it also gets another body here with the city. Good program, doing it for a lot of years.
You hear recommendations by everybody. I think we should proceed with this.
I'll move.
Moved by Counselor Pulis, supported by Counselor Heitzman to proceed and authorize advertise for, no, go ahead and proceed with the work study internship program with Vermillion College on our wastewater treatment plant operator from them for this coming summer. As done in the past for City of Gilbert and successfully. Okay, any more discussion? The agreement is $12 an hour and 20 to 32 hours a week. With the 75% wage compensation to the city and 25% to Vermillion College. Correct? Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman.
Aye.
Counselor Skinsich.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Okay. Next we have West 40 Campground Electric upgrade. Who wants to start on that? Yep.
We'll have Sam speak to this. He's been working with Leo on this. Sam?
Yeah. I was called about a year ago now, or maybe a little bit, about a year ago. I think it was sometime in the fall. And Mr. Skirvik called me asking, he was wondering about power, and he was looking at doing an upgrade. So they are looking at new power from the power line coming in to a new transformer for a updated bathroom facility is what they need. It sounded like and then he was going to be doing some additional campground sites later on at he didn't specify when he was going to start the updated campground sites, but the bathroom facility sounded like it was going to be in this year sometime. So but this is the cost, and due to an ordinance change in 2015, the cost would be incurred by West 40. So they would pay the city for what the cost is to put the supplied power and transformer in.
Yeah, we have total estimated cost for Minnesota Power to perform the work of $8,775. Due to ordinance 54.02, this will be reimbursed cost to the city of Gilbert from West 40 Campground. Any other parameters the council should know about? Jim, you're okay with this? The water light board, everybody's okay, right? City attorney's okay? Okay, I suggest we proceed with this.
I'll move.
Moved by Counselor Pulis, supported by Counselor Heitzman to approve this agreement with West 40 Campground owner Leo Skirvik for this improvement. Just discussed. Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
You want to vote, discussion? Hold on. Counselor Skirvik.
Very simply, it is our hope that if we could get that taken care of before the 1st of May when we open up. That's the only request I have.
All right, thank you and good luck. And okay, now Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman. Aye. Counselor Skinsich.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, next we have core main invoice of amount of $232,374.15 for water meters parts for water electric meter project. And this is, who wants to talk on this? John? I see John.
Yeah, we actually, Jim, you got the partial pay estimate that we did, correct?
Yeah, I just received this late this afternoon. The council does have a copy of it. Partial pay estimate for this project.
Just as a contract, we reviewed and, you know, the only difference between what we recommend is that we retain a 5% retainage on the pay estimate. So the actual pay estimate would be, what was the number? $220,755.44. And Core Main signed off on that retainage. So I think you've got our signature and Core and Main signed it electronically on the bottom of what you guys have for attachments. So, and that's the way the project was bid. The water meters were bid as a supply item, and then there was an installation item that will be coming in the future here. Our recommendation is to pay the invoice less 5% retainage.
All right, John's engineer recommends we pay the $220,755.44. Again, we budgeted this for a couple of years ago. We okayed this a year ago, I think last year. And retaining 5%. Everything else looks okay? John? Everything okay then, other than, okay, all right. Jim, you okay?
Yes, everything's good, Mayor.
All right.
I'll move.
And Brian's okay? All right. Moved by Counselor Scanzi, supported by Counselor Heitzman to approve this core main invoice N712936 in amount of $220,755.44. Actual cost is $232,374.15. More minusing the 5% retainage. Any more discussion? Counselor Skinsich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman.
Aye.
Counselor Pulis.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0, 4-0. Excuse me. All right. PFA clean water loan application. Jim, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, this is something that both me and John have talked about since we've started the phase 1 and phase 2 portions of the project, and we finally got the letter from PFA, and with the breakdowns, and we've been waiting for the breakdowns for quite a while.
Listen to this.
So I'm asking the city of Gilbert to formally request that PFA finalize its clean water application in the amount of $397,980 respectively for the term of 20 years. The water implementation funding grant in the amount of $1,591,920. The city further requests that PFA finalize that interest rate in order to determine its total borrowing cost. So in a nutshell of just shy of the $2 million application, we got a grant for $1,591,920, which is about 75% of that portion of the project. So, John, anything to add?
No. And this is what's called the WIF program through the Public Facilities Authority. So this was, we're anticipating this, and it did finally, like Jim said, like it just finally came through. So it's good news on to the overall project.
So now we're formally requesting this money?
Yes, with the approval of the council, I will have the letter sent in to PFA tomorrow.
I'll support.
Moved by Counselor Heisman, supported by Counselor Pulis to formally request that the PFA finalize its clean water loan application in an amount of $397,980 respectively for the term of 20 years. The water implementation funding grant WIF in the amount of $1,591,920. That the city further requests that the PFA finalize the interest rate in order to determine its total borrowing cost. Any more discussion? Counselor Heisman, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Pulis?
Aye.
Counselor Skinsich?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Very good news. Gilbert, good news. School input meeting notifications, Counselor Skinsich has already said that, third Tuesdays of the month. Oh yeah, this is just something different, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jim. Jim wants our okey dokey to go ahead and pay for all the advertising of the paper for these.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, prior to the last meeting, the meeting last week, we were asked if it was going to be in the newspaper. And, we got to thinking that we never, as a council, formalized the expense of doing that every month. So that's what I'm asking the council for. Is about $96, $97 for the size ad we run for the notification reminder in the Mesabi Daily News. So that'd be monthly then throughout the year until the end of the Northland project. So that's what I'm asking for the council for, is authorization for that.
Yeah, I mean, we have on a board here, but I recommend we do it.
I'll move.
Moved by Counselor Pulis, supported by Counselor Heitzman to authorize city clerk and staff to go ahead and do the advertising for the school input meeting and notify the public by paper, advertising in the paper. I think if you go Focus, that's free, isn't it? Or maybe there's an amount of money there, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll put in the
Mesabi Daily News.
We'll do both.
Mesabi Tribune, sorry.
Yeah, the Tribune's our official paper, so we'll have it in there. We'll also utilize the Hometown Focus.
We'll give you the authorization to go ahead. All right, any more discussion on that? Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman? Aye. Counselor Skinsich?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for walking that line. All right. Any miscellaneous, we need to loose ends? None? Move to approve the payment of bills and payroll by the proper audit by the clerk and the mayor.
I'll move.
Moved by Counselor Pulis. Supported by Counselor Heitzman to approve the bills and payroll upon proper audit by the clerk and the mayor. Any further discussion? Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman?
Aye.
Counselor Skinsich?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Move to adjourn, no other business.
Support.
Moved by Counselor Heitzman, supported by Counselor Skinsich to adjourn at 8:26. Counselor Heitzman, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Skinsich?
Aye.
Counselor Pulis?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you. Good night.